are honored to be here and fight with you. From time to time, people ask us, why is a nurses' union involved in the climate action struggle? For me, the answer is simple. When a child who lives or studies near refineries comes to us with asthma, nosebleeds, headaches, nausea, or worse, we care for that patient and their families, and we think this didn't have to happen. When a worker is injured in yet another gas well explosion, we care for that patient, and we think this didn't need to happen. Excuse me. When a train carrying filthy tar sands derails and sickens an entire town, we care for the patients, and we think this didn't need to happen. Yeah. Our union has deployed registered nurses to disasters such as Hurricane Katrina, Superstorm Sandy, and most recently, the typhoon that ravaged the Philippines. Nurses cared for the patients in those devastated places, and they provided, as best they could, comfort to those who had lost everything, including loved ones. And the nurses thought, this didn't need to happen. We as nurses are in the fight against dirty, deadly energy sources and climate changes because we see the tragic results up close, and because, like all of you, we want our children to have a future. The wrecking of human lives and our planet does not have to happen, but it is happening. So we have to ask, why is that? The science on our side is beyond debate at this point. Real experts say that warming waters create killer storms like the typhoon in the Philippines. Those same experts warn that tar sands are a major producer of the greenhouse gases that are warming our planet. The tar sands crude that Valero, Phillips 66, and other fossil fuel companies want to process here in Wilmington will directly speed up that warming process. So why is it happening? The tar sands crude will further harm the health of local residents. The children of the Los Angeles Port area already suffer asthma at double the national rate. Double the national rate already. The asthma rate will continue to climb if the oil companies get their way. We also know that tar sands refining presents a higher risk of poisonous leaks and explosions. So why is this happening? We know that fracking endangers our precious groundwater by pumping outrageous amounts of toxic chemicals deep into Mother Earth. We also see untold amounts of water being wasted on fracking here in LA and throughout the West, in the middle of one of the worst droughts on record, except for yesterday. Okay? And then there's the risk of fracking-caused earthquakes. This is California, people. Why is this happening? One reason all of this is happening is the dubious promise of quote-unquote jobs. As union members and workers ourselves, we nurses are clearly interested in creating good jobs in this community and throughout the country. At the same time, we can't allow ourselves to be fooled. The Keystone XL pipeline might be the best example of how the oil and gas corporations offer us the very false choice of jobs versus the environment. Literally, they tell us it's our money or our lives. The California Nurses Association and National Nurses United was one of the first labor unions to oppose Keystone. We have led the campaign to have other unions join us in saying no to the pipeline. We have fought against Keystone because in addition to the obvious environmental hazards it presents, it embodies the extortion techniques that the oil and gas corporations use to get their way and are used to getting their way. Part of our mission must be to show people that environmental justice actually means good jobs. We can create real jobs, permanent jobs with good wages and benefits to rebuild our infrastructure and to build systems of sustainable energy. We have a way to pay for those good jobs that could create a clean energy boom and pay for needed climate change remediation. California Nurses Association and National Nurses United is a leader in the campaign to pass Robin Hood tax in the U.S. The Robin Hood tax is a tiny tax on Wall Street transactions that could raise $350 billion a year to fund human environmental needs. Let me say that again. The Robin Hood tax is a tiny tax on Wall Street transactions that could raise, I never get to say this amount in my life, $350 billion a year to fund human and environmental needs. Wow. Finally, as a nurse, I'm not only committed to fight the causes of global warming, I'm also committed to fighting for your health care when you are harmed by industrial pollution and the effects of global warming. Today, we are fighting a corporate agenda that drives the big oil industry to put their own interests first at the expense of our communities. It is the same type of corporate agenda that is driving much of the health care in this country. Hospitals are merging into giant corporations. In too many places, we nurses are seeing health care being turned into a product, not a service that puts human needs first. We must all resist that trend. As for me, as a nurse, my commitment is to fight both the causes of climate crisis, but also to fight for the best health care for those who have been harmed by the climate crisis. It is my commitment to patient advocacy, which I hold dear to my heart, that brings me here. And it is the same for all the nurses that you see here today. We have taken a stand against the Keystone Pipeline, and today we take a stand against tar sands in Wilmington. We nurses will always fight for the rights of the patients, and that means the community. When you see us outside the hospital in a picket line or a fight to stop the cause of global warming, one thing you can be sure of: we are fighting for our patients, and that means we are fighting for all of you. Thank you very much.